those proposals to make the electoral processes even better. So the lessons that we've learned from our reflections have informed the reforms, the strategic priorities, and operational improvements that are contained in the documents that we are launching today. We are determined to strengthen every aspect of electoral management so that 2022 election is professionally planned, efficiently executed, and fully compliant with the constitutional and legal provisions. Ladies and gentlemen, our objective is simple, and that is when the history of 2027 general election is written, Kenyans will proudly say that their electoral commission rose to the occasion, strengthened public confidence, upheld the Constitution, and delivered an election worthy of the trust bestowed upon it. Equally important, however, is the recognition that successful elections cannot be delivered by IEBC alone. And I think previous speakers have emphasized that fact. This is because democracy is a shared responsibility, which is why I'm happy when our brother is actively engaging with us, Honorable J.P. Muturi. We need all of you to be active citizens. Not just innocent bystanders. You need to be active citizens so that we together can inform the quality of the elections we are going to have in 2027. So the Constitution, what I've just said, is because the Constitution assigns each one of us a responsibility, both as a citizen, but also those institutions of governance that we gave to ourselves in the 2010 Constitution. So we therefore call upon all of us, the political parties, represented by the Political Parties Steering Committee, led by Misati, and of course, all those other political formations, whether in government or in opposition, to play their role as active participants. We also call upon the media, which reports, to play its role by accurately reporting factual truths and not misinformation and disinformation and propaganda. Because propaganda is likely, we can plan everything meticulously, but just one word or two words from an irresponsible media can burn this country. And we know there are many examples. So media, play your role responsibly to enhance and to deepen the democracy of this republic. We also call upon security agencies. Honorable Chief Justice, in the last few months, this commission has conducted over 30 elections. 30 elections. Fresh from wherever we came from, we were confronted with the challenge of conducting 30 general elections, 30 by-elections. And we've learned something. And that something is very sad, that the relationship between our politics and violence and money is making our work difficult as IEBC. Because we witness situations where certain politicians, and actually all of them, you cannot say which side, what side. There's this inclination for politicians to bring in these young people, arm them with their sticks and whatever manners of crude weapons, feed them during that season to protect their vote. I don't know from who. And what we saw, nobody complained to us that we are stealing anybody's vote, but they are protecting their vote from one another. And therefore, when these groups clash, we lose some lives, as we witnessed at Kasipul constituency. We took action, and we will continue to take action to curb such incidences of electoral malpractices. So we call upon various stakeholders, the security agencies, to do their bit to secure the elections. We can plan everything. This strategic plan can speak of beautiful things. But if the environment within which we hold elections is intoxicated, it's violent, it's unbearable, we cannot have an election. We cannot have an election. So we need to take that, to bear that in mind. We also call upon Parliament to help us enact the laws, the amendments that we are proposing. We've shared with them some drafts, and we'll be meeting with JLAC, I think in the next 2 weeks, to share with them what we think. And I also call upon all the Kenyans to bring those proposals that they think can help us to do even a better job. Distinguished guests, I would not like to take more time beyond that. I would like to sincerely thank each one of you, beginning with the Lady Chief Justice, our Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, who has given us absolute support from the day you saw us into office on 11th July 2025, and you inspired us with your speech to go ye forth and make a difference to today. We thank you very much. We have no words to thank you, and I believe my colleagues share in this. Please give a... We also thank Parliament for supporting us in terms of resources, the national government, the diplomatic community. We've had numerous occasions to engage with you. The media, week 3 when we came into office, we engaged you, the media, and you've given us support since. We know it's an honeymoon period now. There'll be a period when we'll see those crazy headlines, but we hope those crazy headlines will be justified. Criticize us where you can, but if it's not necessary, if it's not factual, please leave us alone so that Kenyans can have confidence in the electoral management body so that they can turn up to vote. In fact, turn up to register first. When you see all these headlines, all this negativity, all this toxicity, that is what's driving the young people not to come out and register. We've seen it when we went to the field when we were doing mass voter registration. Some young people were questioning us, why should you give us 10 reasons why we should register? What is in there for us? It's about the politicians. They are fighting. They see all these negative things every day. So please, let us lower the temperature. Let us give us an opportunity, the IBC, give us confidence so that these young people can see and believe and register and turn up to vote for you. So I will end it there. And sincerely from my heart, this is the first mega event that we've had since we came to this. Elections are part of our diet. But to bring all of you into one room and for you to share with us this occasion, your thoughts, your ideas, your inspiration, I think it's something second to none. So I thank you. Let us give ourselves a round of applause. And now with all those many remarks, I would like us to be upstanding. And the band, please give us something for as the CJ comes. I don't know which one will be higher. Good for you.
She is the Chief Justice of the Republic.
Thank you. Please, may we have our seats. Thank you very much. The chairman of IEBC, my young brother, Mr. Erastus Ethekon. I also want to acknowledge all the commissioners, including my daughter, the vice chairperson, You make us very, very proud, and we can clearly see the connection between the present and the future through you. Thank you, all the commissioners, for the encouraging words that you have shared with us, that you owe allegiance to nobody but to this country, to the people of Kenya. I also want to acknowledge everybody. I'm told all of you were carefully selected and invited to this auspicious occasion. I want to acknowledge the fellow chairpersons of various constitutional commissions and independent offices led by our chair, our Auditor General, the Honorable Nancy Gathungu. Thank you for representing us. All the development partners, members of the diplomatic corps led by my brother, His Excellency, the High Commission of the United Kingdom, Mr. Mark Ball, and all the political leaders here. Particularly want to recognize J.B. Muturi, our former speaker, my colleague, the titular head of the bar, the former titular head of the bar. We acknowledge the many years that you have served this nation with objectivity and diligence, and all the leaders of the political parties here. Civil society, are you in the house? Faith-based organizations, and I also see the media and our very, very distinguished guests. Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. I'm Jambo. Salam alaikum. You know, as Kenyans, we like to connect with greetings, and therefore, I am delighted, very, very delighted this afternoon to join the IEBC for the launch of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission's 2024-2029 Strategic Plan, as well as the Election Operations Plan, which is an extract from the strategic plan detailing how the various strategies will be implemented. Just before you took office in July last year, the judiciary launched our own operation plan for the 2027 general elections, because we like to go ahead of everybody and survey how the terrain will be so that we can prepare ourselves. And therefore, today, this launch marks a very significant milestone in our collective journey towards strengthening our democracy, enhancing electoral governance, and deepening citizen participation in building a better Kenya for all of us. I agree with our patriotic songs. Kenya is ours. We all love Kenya. We are going nowhere. We will defend our Kenya, and we will leave Kenya for the future generations a better country than we found it. Allow me at the outset to congratulate the Commission, led by your chairperson, Mr. Erastus Ethekon, the members of the Commission, the Acting Commission Secretary CEO, and the staff of IEBC for developing this forward-looking strategic plan. It took the effort of an inclusive and consultative process that brought together a broad range of stakeholders. And I liked the chairperson has accepted. If any of the stakeholder feels that there are issues that were left out in the development of the strategic plan, there is still room to include them so that we move together. Because such an approach reflects the very democratic principles that the Commission is mandated to uphold, and demonstrates a commitment to transparency, accountability, and shared ownership of our electoral future. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, this strategic plan comes at a critical time in our nation's democratic development. It recognizes that our elections are not merely events conducted on polling day. Rather, elections constitute a continuous process that requires strong institutions, adequate resources, effective planning, and most importantly, a sound and enabling legal framework. I congratulate the Commission for this great work. The theme of the strategic plan is inclusion and participation in deepening democracy in Kenya. Experience from democracies around the world demonstrated that credible elections rest on 4 fundamental pillars. 1, strong laws. 2, strong institutions. 3, voter participation. And 4, public trust. Electoral laws must establish the rules of engagement. Institutions must ensure those rules are applied fairly and consistently, while voter participation and public trust will provide legitimacy to electoral outcomes. Where electoral laws are outdated, and I really hope we have parliamentarians in this House, where the laws are ambiguous or fragmented, uncertainty emerges. Disputes increase, confidence decline, and electoral processes become vulnerable to contestation. And that is why I stopped my life to come to this ceremony this morning, to encourage IEBC, if they do their work properly, then they lessen our work in the judiciary, because then there are no gaps to interpret. There is no cleanup to do, because they will do a clean job. It is therefore imperative that, first of all, like you have told us, we have legal reforms that remain a continuous undertaking, evolving alongside technological advancements, emerging electoral challenges, and changing expectations of our citizens. You must always listen to our citizens. Do not fear them. These are Kenyans. Even if they are political parties, they are Kenyans. And we are equalized by that one vote that all of us have. So we are all stakeholders, and nobody is superior to the other, despite the positions that we owned. We are all equalized by that one vote. Therefore, listen to all of us. I am particularly encouraged that the strategic plan identifies strengthening of the electoral legal framework as a key strategic priority. This is both timely and necessary, and Kenyans want to hear and know what are those proposals to the legal amendments that you are seeking from the parliamentarians. That is a key area for you to engage with the media so that we can move together in that endeavor. As a nation, we must continue working towards harmonizing electoral laws and regulations to eliminate inconsistencies and provide greater clarity to all electoral stakeholders. We must address legal gaps identified during previous electoral cycles and ensure that electoral timelines, dispute resolution mechanisms, and election management processes are clearly defined and understood. That election operation plan must also be made public for the public to work every day with it as they prepare for the elections. As you are aware, the Judiciary Committee on Elections, the IEBC, and the Office of the Registrar of the Political Parties have jointly presented 2 composite bills. The Elections Laws Amendment Bill 2026, the political parties Bill 2026. We did this to Parliament, and these bills propose legislative interventions aimed at improving the management of elections and streamlining the legal framework for resolution of electoral and political disputes. I take this opportunity to urge the National Assembly and the Senate to fast-track the consideration and enactment of these two proposed bills. Legal certainty is the cornerstone of electoral integrity. When citizens, political parties, candidates, and election officials understand the rules and trust those rules that will be applied fairly, there will be confidence in electoral outcomes, which is significant in terms of the credibility and predictability of our elections, and will contribute to peaceful and credible elections. This strategic plan also recognizes the growing role played by technology in electoral management. In fact, when I read it, I said these elections will be won and lost, and they stand on the use of technology. Technology has become an indispensable tool for enhancing efficiency, transparency, and accountability within the electoral process. However, technology alone cannot guarantee credibility. Its effectiveness depends on the existence of robust legal safeguards and institutional oversight, as well as the goodwill by all the parties to embrace the trust the trust that technology is just an enabler. So as we embrace innovation, we must ensure that our legal frameworks adequately address issues of our data protection, our cybersecurity, transparency in electoral technologies, and accountability in electronic electoral processes. The IEBC must therefore provide a clear guidance on the deployment. What technology will you deploy? What management are you going to use? And how are they going to be audited so that the use of that innovation strengthens rather than undermines public confidence in elections? Equally commendable is the operations plan's commitment to inclusion and equal political participation. The strength of any democracy is measured not only by the conduct of elections, but also by the extent to which all citizens are able to participate meaningfully in the electoral process. So we want to urge Kenyans that Kenya is a multi-party democracy. I think that one was paid for with sweat and blood. And therefore, we can never forget the role played by the opposition in our democracy. Women, youth, persons with disabilities, minority communities, and other marginalized groups must not merely be observers of democracy, they must be active participants and beneficiaries of it. I expected a clap for that. Thank you. Legal and policy reforms should continue to remove barriers that hinder participation and create opportunities for all eligible citizens to exercise their political rights fully and freely. A truly credible election is one in which every voice matters and every vote counts equally. Distinguished guests, I also wish to commend the Commission for prioritizing governance, risk management, and compliance within the strategic plan, because strong governance structures are indispensable to institutional credibility. Election institutions must not only be independent, but must also be seen to operate transparently, professionally, and within clearly defined legal parameters. I liked when the Commissioner, Abdi Nuh, said he is Abdi Nuh and nobody else. And he will remain Abdi Nuh even after the 2027 elections, because his allegiance is to this nation and nobody else. Furthermore, credible elections require effective collaboration among all stakeholders. I like what everybody said here. None of us can succeed in delivering free and fair, credible elections, but all of us must work together, because no institution can deliver electoral integrity in isolation. The Parliament, the judiciary, the security agencies, the political parties, civil society organizations, our development partners, the media, and citizens all have important roles to play. Only through sustained cooperation, mutual respect for constitutional mandates, and a shared commitment to democratic values can we safeguard the credibility of our elections and strengthen public confidence in our democratic institutions. Ultimately, the success of our electoral system depends on public trust. Citizens must have confidence that electoral processes are fair, transparent, inclusive, and governed by the laws that are applied consistently and impartially. Public trust cannot be demanded. It must be earned through integrity, accountability, and continuous improvement. Allow me to use this opportunity to urge IEBC to appreciate that one of the surest ways of building public confidence in an electoral process is through the firm, consistent, and impartial enforcement of the Electoral Code of Conduct. Across the country, yes, I appreciate that, because you cannot say your hands are tied. Tied by who? You have the Code of Conduct to enforce. When somebody breaches the Code of Conduct, please disqualify. Political rivals. These developments, ladies and gentlemen, pose a serious threat not only to peaceful elections, but also to the constitutional values of democracy, human dignity, political freedom, and the rule of law. It is imperative that we reject the dangerous normalization of political violence. The other day, I asked a question. Why is it that it is only when we have protests that have political connotations that we end up with violence? We have seen protests by teachers, we have seen protests by doctors, we have seen protests from other segments. I think even women, even Law Society, we have protested, but we never saw violence unless there is political connotations. And I asked the question, how come our lives are disrupted by politics? We have less than 2,000 people who earn a living from politics, but they disrupt the lives of 55 million people. The Commission must therefore send a clear and unequivocal message that those who engage in violence, those who sponsor criminal elements, those who incite supporters or otherwise violate the Electoral Code of Conduct will face swift and appropriate sanctions regardless of their political affiliation, status, or influence. It is important to recall that following the contestation of the Commission's power to enforce the Electoral Code of Conduct during the previous electoral cycle, the matter came all the way to the Supreme Court in the case of the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission versus Sabina Chege. That judgment delivered in 2023. I don't know how many remember it, but it firmly affirmed IEBC's constitutional mandate under Article 88 of the Constitution to receive, to determine, and to enforce compliance with the Electoral Code of Conduct. Am I talking to somebody? They have the power under the Constitution to enforce the Electoral Code of Conduct. And the legal position is therefore now settled. The Commission possesses both authority and the responsibility to act. So please don't cry and say your hands are tied. I therefore urge the IEBC to exercise that mandate with courage, because the Constitution gives it to you, firmness, and complete impartiality. The time for warnings without consequences must come to an end. Kenyans expect a level political playing field where all actors are held to the same standards and where misconduct attracts appropriate sanctions. Nobody is going out to seek for a political position to be argued, to be abused, and to be violated. We all want, all the political actors want a fair playing ground. And by decisively enforcing the Code of Conduct, the Commission will not only deter violence and electoral malpractice, but will also strengthen public trust in the integrity of the electoral process and contribute significantly to the realization of peaceful, credible, and democratic elections. Let me speak directly to our political actors and say, Kenya belongs to all of us. The hopes, livelihoods, and future of over 55 million people must never be held ransom by the ambitions of a few seeking political office. Those political offices are important and we respect them, but they should never hold us at ransom. Children must be able to go to school, people must be able to go to work, businesses must continue as usual as they campaign for these positions. The responsibility of seeking leadership demands respect for the people. If I am seeking for a position, I must respect the lives of the people. Respect for their choices, respect for their agency, and respect for the constitutional order that allows our country to function, thrive, and progress, whether we are in an election season or not. Political competition must never become a license to incite disorder, destroy property, disrupt livelihoods, or place the peace and stability of our nation at risk. We cannot allow Kenya to burn to satisfy the interest of a few. The true test of democratic leadership is not only the ability to seek power, but the discipline to pursue it peacefully, lawfully, and with fidelity to the welfare of the people. I strongly believe that this strategic plan that we are launching today will provide a clear roadmap for strengthening trust in the Electoral Commission. They have all confessed here before us that they are only working for the best interest of Kenyans, not anybody. And that is the same message I told them when I saw them in office. When you come into an office like that, it doesn't matter how you came, it doesn't matter who helped you, but now you belong to all Kenyans. Therefore, the plan is a vision of an electoral system that is responsive to the aspirations of Kenyans and aligned with the principles of our Constitution. As IEBC embarks on the implementation of this plan, I call upon all stakeholders to support the Commission in realizing its objectives. Together, we must strive to build an electoral system that delivers elections that are trusted, elections that are inclusive. I was so happy to hear that you will continue with another cycle of registration of voters, because you should never give up on Kenyans. Go where they are and register them until we feel everybody who wants to exercise their right to vote is registered. And this way, we can be inclusive, we can be peaceful, and we can help you to ensure that together we guard the sovereign will of the people. I also wish to sincerely thank our partners, including the UNDP, for your leadership and mobilizing resources through Election Basket Fund. Credible elections must be properly resourced, and those resources must be mobilized and applied in a transparent, accountable, and coordinated manner. As we support IEBC to deliver on its mandate, we must also continue to ensure that all the institutions involved in the electoral processes are adequately resourced to effectively execute their respective mandates. This shared institutional readiness is essential to safeguarding electoral integrity and delivering peaceful, credible, and trusted elections. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to reiterate that the true measure of this strategic plan will not be merely found in the activities undertaken or the resources invested. Its successes will be measured by the confidence it inspires among citizens and the extent to which it strengthens the credibility of our elections in this country. Every Kenyan must approach the polling station calmly, confidently, and ready to make his or her voice count. Indeed, Kenyans, your vote, your voice matter. Fellow Kenyans, let us stand with the IEBC and all electoral institutions in creating a peaceful and enabling environment needed to nurture and safeguard our democracy. With these remarks, and with your kind permission, I am pleased to officially launch the Commission's 2024-2025 Strategic Plan and Election Operation Plan. I thank you for giving me this opportunity, and like I've always said, I'm eternally grateful to Kenyans for having given me the confidence and opportunity to serve them as the first woman Chief Justice. I thank you, and may God bless you. May God bless Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause. And now we want to move to the dramatic launch of the two documents. I kindly request our Chief Justice will move to the booth just on your right. I'd kindly request the chairperson, IEBC, and the commissioners, please join the Chief Justice. And once you're there, we'll have a countdown so that we can launch the two documents dramatically. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will have our countdown. We are ready. Countdown. 10. Aha. We are ready to go. So we'll do it together, everyone, wherever you are. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. The launch of the IEBC Strategic Plan 2024 to 2029, and of course the Election Operation Plan 2025 to 2027. And we do have the documents there. Makofi tafadhali. Thank you so much. Asante sana. We'll have the photo session taken right there. The Chief Justice, the commissioners, we have the key strategic partners, members of the Fourth Estate. We need to make sure that we get the appropriate photo that will enable the rest of Kenyans to follow the engagement. These documents must inspire confidence in all of us being involved democratic process. Asante sana. Makofi nyingine tafadhali. And dear delegates, all of us will have an opportunity to get a copy of both the documents. So before we exit, we'll have a quick announcement. Then as you exit, you'll be given the document. But for now, we are ready for a gift. We do have a gift for our Chief Justice. Let's have the gift ready. And I'd kindly request the chairperson of IEBC will deliver the gift of appreciation to our Chief Justice, our chief guest. Asante sana. Let's have the gift, please. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We do have a gift for the Chief Justice. Let's have it ready. Our Chief Justice is already here. Karibu sana, Chief Justice. There you go, the gift. Makofi tafadhali for our Chief Justice. Thank you so much, President of the Supreme Court of Kenya. We appreciate you. Asante sana, Chairperson and Commissioners of IEBC. There we go, the two documents. Excellent. I'll now request that we remain standing for the Kenya National Anthem and the East African Community Anthem just in a moment. Police band, be on standby. Please be on standby. Asante sana, Chief Justice, for your presence, commitment, and leadership. Never give up on Kenya. We are all working for the best interests of Kenyans. Kenya belongs to all of us. The time for warnings without consequences must come to an end. We are ready for the Kenya National Anthem. Police band on standby. Police band. Police band, the Kenya National Anthem. I'd kindly request we remain standing as we allow our chief guest and her delegation to leave at their pleasure. We do have a quick announcement for the rest of the delegates. Chief Justice, at your pleasure. Thank you so much. Dear delegates, quick announcement. Number one, lunch will be served immediately after this. Make sure you have your badge